this new COVID relief, stimulus, all the fancy names they like to give for what is essentially highway robbery. A lot of people have been getting it wrong, actually. They think that the squad voted against it, right? Because they automatically assume that, yeah, of course, these noble, these noble politicians, these progressives who have joined a cesspit such as the Democratic Party would vote against such a thing, right? $600? A one-time $600 check? Of course they'd vote against that, right? That's insulting. Who would give a one-time $600 check to millions and millions of Americans who have not only been laid off, but also lost their health care because health care is tied to employment in the US, right? So they just assume, like, yeah, of course. How dare you? So let's examine how this vote went down. By the way, I find it quite amusing that American media is so dishonest that you need a Syrian to come and explain to Americans how their own government works. You got to let me have a little laugh there. You got to let me have a little chuckle. Although I have to give credit to my girl. She sat down with me and we went through this together, and she's the best. She really is. So this is from The Hill. The major contours of the agreement mirror those of the $2.2 trillion CARES Act approved by both parties in March. It features lesser spending on key benefits, meaning you're being screwed over. It includes $600 direct payments to individuals and a $300 weekly boost in unemployment insurance, for instance, both representing half the amount offered in the CARES Act. So they screwed you already in March with the CARES Act, right? They gave you a one-time $1,200 check. That's if you even got it. And even those who were eligible, some of them have not even received it. That's back in March. Americans have received nothing besides that, okay? I mean, this is criminal regardless. But for the richest nation on earth to do this, unbelievable. Canada, the UK, all of these other countries are able to, keep their citizens afloat, give them a social safety net. This is preposterous. And not to mention the highway robbery, right? The biggest upward transfer of wealth in history. That's why they made it a voice vote. So you can't really tell. It's not, we'll never know how they really voted. We'll never know. It's not on record. We can't go back and look how each senator, how each a congressperson voted to give away trillions to corporations in the middle of a pandemic. So now they're giving you half of that. And this is 8 months in. Okay? And take a look at this, just so you know the margins of how this vote went down. So the first, so they divided into two votes, which I'm about to break down to you because this is where a lot of the confusion is coming around. Look at the margins, 327 to 85. So everybody's on board. Then 359 to 53. That 53, you're going to have a nice little laugh at the end. You're going to have a nice little laugh at the end of this video about that number. Okay? So let's take a look at how this vote went down, because everyone thinks that AOC, that Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, they voted against this, right? Because they've been decrying for weeks. We've been hearing for weeks from them about how criminal, how insulting it is that, the government would suggest such a stimulus, right? A one-time $600 check. Okay, let's take a look then. Are you ready? So this bill, 5,000 pages, over 5,000 pages long. All right. And I started sifting through it last night. They had about 2 hours to read it. The bill, once again, it's 5,000 pages, and they had 2 hours to read it. Okay? Look, Thomas Massey, for example, he was talking about this, right? A 5,500 plus page bill. I started sifting through it. Let's see how this went down. The squad voted against some provisions in the Senate amendment, but voted yes on the final bill. What's that? They voted yes on the final bill? Except Rashida Tlaib and Tulsi Gabbard. So let's see how this went down. Here are the roll calls, all right? This is how it went down. We had several votes. Pay attention to 249, 215, 251, okay? Specifically 215, 251. In 250, they voted on, hold on, let me open up the PDF for you over here. So the United States-Mexico Economic Partnership Act. And this is confusing a lot of people because they're thinking, that's not the COVID relief bill. Why is it called the United States-Mexico Economic Partnership Act? That has nothing to do with it. Okay, so this has been confusing a lot of people. This is a shell. This is a shell. There's nothing in it when it was first passed by the Senate. You see the date on this? Look at the date, 15th of January, 2020. Okay, there's nothing in this at the start. So where does this price tag come from? Where does the price tag come from? It comes from an amendment. Okay, so this went to the Senate, and the Senate came out with an amendment. All right. It's called the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. This thing is over 5,000 pages long. Okay, this is the behemoth. This is the behemoth. All right. So this is an amendment by the Senate to HR 133, also known as I said, the United States-Mexico Economic Partnership Act. All right. Now, I made some nice graphics for you. You see this? Isn't that beautiful? I did that myself. You got to give me credit, man. I had to go back and learn how to use Excel again. So look, the whole cost of it is 2.3 trillion. All right. 900 billion. That's the COVID relief. 1.4 trillion is made up of this. Watch out. Here comes another fancy graphic. There we go. 740 billion is for the military. All right. And then we got 664 billion. That's for domestic programs. Okay. So this is the whole price tag. And that's how they've broken it down. Now, when they had a vote over here on roll 250, okay, I'm just pulling this back up for you over here. Yes, it is very confusing, and it is designed that way on purpose. It is designed that way on purpose. When they voted on 250, do you see that? Roll 250. The question was, if you agree with this amendment coming from the Senate, okay, containing divisions B, C, E, and F, this is where all the progressives voted no. Okay? That's where they voted no. And you can see that over here. You can see the voting, the roll call from 250. You can see that over here, right? So I'll just pull up Democrats, nay, and you can see Tulsi Gabbard. You can see Pramila Jayapal, Ro Khanna, Ocasio-Cortez, Omar, Presley, Tlaib. They're all here, right? They voted no on this. So they voted no on this amendment containing divisions B, C, E, and F. Now, what are divisions B, C, E, and F? So, I mean, these are things, hold on, let me pull up the giant bill. Yes, you can see it's 5,000 pages long. I mean, this thing is enormous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. So divisions B, C, and F are things like commerce, justice, science, and related agencies. Division C is the Department of Defense Appropriations Act, right? Division E is financial services and general government appropriations. The progressives, they voted no on this. All right? This is roll 250. They voted no on this. All right? Then comes roll 251. They get another vote. Again, let me pull it up for you. Roll 251. This is without those sections that I just showed you, B, C, E, and F. All right? The problem is with this, The problem is with this. The COVID relief is not in divisions B, C, E, and F. It's in divisions M and N of the bill. Okay? Look over here. Division M. I need to zoom in for you so you can see it. Division M, Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act 2021. Division N, Additional Coronavirus Response and Relief. This is where the $600 check is. All right? They voted for that shit. Every goddamn Democrat voted for that shit except Tulsi Gabbard and Rashida Tlaib. How do we know? Because you can check the roll call. Roll call 251. Let me pull it up. There we go. Look at the nays. You got 53 nays, 53 no's. Okay? Let's look at the Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard, Rashida Tlaib. They are the only two people in the Democratic Party who voted against this. And ironically, you got like 50 Republicans and I think one independent. Yeah, it says that up here. Right? So you have more Republicans voting against this, allegedly because of the deficit. But anyway, so they've been yelling about this for weeks. AOC, Ilhan Omar, oh my God, that we can't allow this. $600 is not enough. We can't do this. And then they fucking vote for it. And they disappeared, by the way. They disappeared. So we didn't hear nothing from AOC for like 24 hours, right? The Twitter queen, she disappeared. How odd. How odd. And you had tons of people defending her like, look, she voted no. What are you talking about? You're a liar. Man, you should be fucking embarrassed. Like, you need an Arab to come and explain your own government to you and tell you what your politicians are doing under your own fucking nose. You should be ashamed. You are a fucking dingus. Okay? You are a clown. And anyone defending these quote unquote progressives, you're clowns. You're tolerating this $600 in the richest nation on earth? $600, really? I mean, this is insulting. It's like they're daring you at this point. So they never had a problem with this. Division M, Division N, Mike and Niall. No, they had no problem with that. I mean, it's frankly unbelievable. It really is. It really is unbelievable because if you look at what they were saying, okay? Hold on, let me pull up my Twitter over here just to show you. Look at Ilhan Omar, what she was saying. This is December 17th. This is a few days ago. Every member of Congress should be ashamed. A one-time $600 check and $300 unemployment after 8 months is embarrassing. Countries around the world are doing right by their constituents, providing $2 to $3K. We should act urgently and accordingly in addressing the economic pain of our constituents. Exactly. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. So why did you vote for it? Why the fuck did you vote for it? You should be ashamed. See, I'm not attacking Ilhan Omar. That's her saying that. Look, I'll read it to you again. Every member of Congress should be ashamed. One-time $600 check. It's embarrassing. She said this a few days ago. This is December 17th. And then yesterday she goes and votes on the $600 check. I mean, unbelievable. Same thing with AOC. The same thing with AOC. Look at this. She was doing a little Twitter poll. Is $600 for a second COVID check enough? 62% of people voted hell no. What was she saying over here? This is AOC. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to zoom out, but it's also December 17th. So also just a few days ago. If you don't want your member to vote for a $600 deal, you really need to tell them that. Don't think, oh, I voted for a Democrat, we'll be fine. No. If there's an amount that's too little or any other red line that you want them to vote no on, then you need to tell them that. Well, bitch, I'm telling you, We're fucking telling you. And you voted for it. You fucking voted for it. Look at these two-faced, two-timing snake motherfuckers, man. Look at them. Like in the same breath, in the same week, they say one thing and then do completely different other. They do the other. They say one thing and do the other. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. How can you justify this? Like, dude, I don't care. Listen, you need to understand something here. You need to understand something here. This is not even just about the COVID relief. This is not even just about the highway robbery that has been taking place, the CARES Act, the HERES Act. This is a question of these so-called progressives lying to your fucking face. Like have some self-respect. All right, have some self-respect. Why are you defending this shit? If AOC was an old white dude, would you tolerate this shit? You would not tolerate that. If Mitch McConnell said that, if Donald Trump said that, would you not call him out for his lying? Why are you accepting this bullshit? She's literally saying we should hold her accountable. Just like with Medicare for All, just like when she was running in 2018, she said we need to hold power accountable. We need to push the Democratic Party. And when we do that, all of a sudden the boutique left, they lose it. And this is a few days ago. This is December 17th. She's saying if you don't want your representative in Congress to vote for a $600 check because it's not enough, you need to tell them that. So we're fucking telling you. And people told you and you still voted for it. Why? Because you're a fucking fraud. You are literally a fraud. You're the definition of a fraud. You're a fucking liar. You are a typical fucking politician. Classic, full-blown corporatist Washington, D.C. politician. Congratulations. You're fucking indistinguishable from the rest of the party now. Congratulations. You talk the talk, and then you fuck people in the ass. That's what you do. Not once, not twice, not thrice, 6 times, right? Unbelievable. I mean, this is literally a scam. Literally, this is literally a scam. Fraudulent. Preposterous. Look at this. How brazen she is in her lying. I mean, it's unreal. Truly an unmasking. Truly the great unmasking. And then you got all these clowns trying to defend this stuff. I mean, just Now, what's even more funny is that if you go on her Twitter, right? If you go on her Twitter, the day of the votes, look what she's saying. Look what she's saying, man. She's complaining they don't have enough time to read it, right? She says, this is why Congress needs time to actually read this package before voting on it. Members of Congress have not read this bill. It's over 5,000 pages. It arrived at 2 p.m. today, and we are told to expect to vote on it in 2 hours. This isn't governance, it's hostage taking. So why did you fucking vote for it? How can you say that and then fucking vote for it a few hours later? This is unbelievable. She is fucking two-faced. I mean, like, all politicians are two-faced, but she is exemplary. I mean, it's really, it's staggering. It's shameless. It's brazen. It's truly something. It's truly something. I mean, I'm frankly impressed by the mental gymnastics that people go through to justify this, to defend this, to insulate people like this from criticism. Look, she's telling you we don't have enough time to read this. She's right. Do you know how big this bill is? I just showed you. It's 5,000 pages. Dude, you know what's hilarious? You try using Control F to find words inside of the bill. It doesn't even work because the goddamn bill is so long. Somebody pointed out it's longer than all 7 volumes of Harry Potter. No one can read that in 2 hours. Okay? No one can read that in 2 hours. So, you know, at best, she is criminally negligent. She's a buffoon. She's incompetent at best. right? If you're a lawmaker, you've been elected, you've been sent to Capitol Hill to govern on behalf of your constituents, and you recklessly vote yes on a piece of legislation that is 5,000 fucking pages long that you have not read. You didn't fucking read it. In the best case scenario, you are an idiot and you should not be in that position. That's if we're giving you the benefit of the doubt. But we don't need to do that. She's not an idiot. Look, man, the whole premise of this is relief, right? It's to give you money to help you out, to help the Americans stay afloat during this crisis, right? That's the whole premise of this. Nothing else. She knows there's a $600 check in there, a one-time $600 check. So, even if we want to cut her some slack here and say, oh, it's okay she didn't read all 5,000 pages, how could you vote for it regardless when you know that it's just $600? How the fuck is that enough? Go ahead, you can read the 5,000 pages. You're not going to find more than $600 in there, okay? You go ahead and read it. It's not there. So why would you vote for this? When you specifically criticized this amount of money, you knew it's too little. You said that publicly. You just stated that a few days ago. You've been saying it for weeks, and you've been blaming Republicans, and then you go and fucking vote for it. And then you have people you're going to have people who are going to say, yeah, it's better than nothing. And, what do you expect her to do? This is what the majority wanted. That's not what we're talking about. She had a position. She said this is not enough. She lied. We're talking about the dishonesty here. We're talking about the inconsistencies, if you want to put it diplomatically. Okay? I didn't ask you what the rest of the Congress thinks, you little smart fuck. I'm telling you she's a fucking fraud. I'm telling you Ilhan Omar is a fucking fraud. AOC is a fraud because they say one thing and then do another. Not just another, they do the complete opposite. What does that mean? They're just typical slimy politicians. How is that progressive? No, they didn't do this just once. They did it twice. They did it thrice. They fucked you in the ass. Do you understand this? You've had 6 goddamn bills passed. How many checks did you get? Look how much money they're making off with, these corporations. What the fuck is, man, I haven't even gotten into the other crap in this bill to date alone, but what the hell is this? Again, I'm going to show you my fancy graphic, right? Pull up my fancy graphic over here. Why is the military budget in here? What is it doing there? Why is there funding for all these government agencies in here? It gets worse, by the way. You want to see something else? Here, take a look. Take a look. They've got $33 million for regime change in Venezuela. Man, they put everything in here. They put everything in here. Now, again, to be fair, this is in Division C, I believe, right? So the defense budget, if you go and read that, you're going to find a lot of the crap in there. Also, the aid to Israel getting $500 million or whatever it is on top of the billions that they already get, and Egypt, Sudan, a lot of countries getting a bunch of money. Again, to be fair, when they had Roll 250, when they voted on the version that included these, AOC, Tulsi Gabbard, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley voted no. Okay, they were the only 5. They voted against it, right? I'm just pulling it up again just to show it to you. So this is roll call 251, and we want 250. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Actually, they were not the only 5, but they were among the Democrats who voted against it, right? So they would have preferred not to include it. But again, you're here to provide relief to the American people because of the pandemic. $600 is not enough. So my point is whether you include $2 billion for Space Force, which yes, they did that shit. I'm not kidding. There's money for Space Force in this. You can't make this up, man. Whether you include that or not is irrelevant. This is insufficient. This is bullshit. This is nonsense. and they're fucking two-faced. That's the issue here. And then they disappeared. They went all hush. Out of sight. Nowhere to be seen. All of a sudden. Right? Now, this is really funny because I just want to show you again how they try to like wiggle out of this the criticism, the squad. So take a look at this. So Thomas Massey, he said, reminder, the House has a rule to give everyone 72 hours to read the bills. Every Democrat in the House voted to suspend that rule. And that's why we're voting on a 5,500 plus page bill tonight with less than 8 hours to read it. And then Ilhan Omar, she answers, stop lying, I am a Democrat, and voted against suspending the rule. And I think Tulsi Gabbard also answered him. She said, not every Democrat. Her reply is somewhere below. So my point is here, Ilhan Omar knows that 8 hours is not enough to read that goddamn thing. AOC knows this. They all know this. And they still fucking voted for it. I mean, this is unacceptable, man. It really is. It's just, there's so many things wrong with this. You cannot play devil's advocate for them. You just can't. You really can't. You can't look at this in a positive light. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. They have screwed you over so much. Like every single bill that they've passed is always, oh yeah, we got to get relief to the American people. And they give you fucking crumbs. They give you crumbs. It's unbelievable. They won't, the message of the squad, basically, again, with the exception of Rashida Tlaib, because she didn't vote for it. Their message essentially has been, fuck you. We're not going to fight for healthcare. We're not going to withhold our vote for Nancy Pelosi. And fuck you. You can have some crumbs. We're not going to give you any relief during this pandemic. Okay. So how are you any fucking different? How are you any different? And once again, you're going to have the cucks, you're going to have the eunuchs, you're going to have the little bootlickers come along and say, but what can they do? They're just 4 congresswomen. Oh yeah, just some of the most popular politicians on the planet, right? Again, they criticized this shit. They said it's unacceptable, and then they went and fucking voted for it. They went and fucking voted for it. So stop insulating them from criticism. This is the statement from Rashida. So she said that my duty is to show up and represent my district. The 13th district was already struggling before COVID because they have been told over and over again to wait for meaningful change. We can't wait any longer. I voted no on the COVID bill. Our folks are dying, and we waited enough. She's right. And Tulsi Gabbard also put out a video on her Twitter. And in case you're wondering how Bernie voted, yeah, big fucking surprise right there. Again, right? Again. They keep coming with the hits, man. They keep coming with the hits. Isn't this wonderful? Look at the consistency, the bipartisanship, right? It's just it's lovely how they just somehow manage to screw over constituents every chance they get. Really interesting, right? So there you go. I just wanted to wrap that up or clear that up rather. To explain what happened, because people are pretending that the squad didn't vote for this. No, they didn't do that. You're a liar. Yeah, okay, all right. You can go and live in La La Land with your delusional nonsense. By the way, here's a funny tweet that I found. There should be a law that if you can't physically lift a bill, it can't be voted on. Yeah, I agree. 5,000 pages? I mean, you know why they did that, right? It's obvious. It's kind of like if you think of the crime bill, for example, where they put the Violence Against Women Act inside of the crime bill because they know people are going to want to vote for that. And that's how they get the crime bill passed, right? They'll put like a good piece of legislation inside of a bad one and make it dependent on that. So yeah, that's why they're calling calling this an omnibus because it is. It's got 1.4 trillion worth of legislation inside of it, right? Like we said, the Space Force nonsense, something about horses. Dude, I'm not kidding you. Hold on, look at this. 1 second. I'm just gonna like, you're not gonna believe this, okay? First of all, you can see up here like 5,593 pages. I mean, this is obscene. Okay, but let's just do a quick search over here. Horses. Look at it. It's still finding how many matches there are. Why are we talking about horses in here? Look, it's going 54. It's going to go up a bit more. I'm pretty sure there's more than 54. Dude, what? Why are we talking about horses in this goddamn bill? Why are people who own horses being given money? Like, this is unacceptable. This is obscene. I mean, you know, if an Arab country had done this, or if an African country had done this, if a country in the global south had done this, they would scream at the top of their lungs, right? Oh, look at them. They're so corrupt. Oh, they live in a banana republic. Motherfucker. I mean, this is a next level banana republic. I mean, I'm speechless. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. Legit clown shit. Clown shit. Clown shit. That's what this is. And anyone defending anyone who voted for this, clown. You know, everybody voted for the fucking CARES Act should already be in jail just for how much they stole from you. Just for the CARES Act alone, the first one. Never mind the HEROES Act and all the other nonsense, right? So I hope I was able to break that down eloquently enough for you. And there you go, man. There you go. The story does not stop there, though, right? Because we've had some interesting developments, which we'll get to in a second. But again, like, you know, she doesn't deny that she voted for the goddamn $600 check, right? She doesn't bring that up, but she still tries to pretend that she tried to do some good. All right, we'll give you a little a sticker for effort. Right. Look, you know, I know we needed more time, and I voted against that, but in the end, you know, I still voted for the bill anyway, even though I didn't read it. Wow, well done. Well done. You voted for a 5,000 fucking page bill that you didn't read. Well done. Great. Wonderful. Just brilliant, you know. Again, I sorry, I gotta flex. I'm very proud of my my little pie charts over here. Very fancy, right? I think I did good. But, you know, once again, you can see how, I mean, it's just obscene, right? Dude, all of this money should be going to the people. Like this entire thing should be orange. The whole thing. All of it. But it's not. It's not, is it? It's going to the military industrial complex, is going to this slew of domestic programs. You know, just obscene. Oh, man. There you go. So I think that should clear up any confusion on the issue. Only Rashida Tlaib and Tulsi Gabbard voted against this. There you go.